Have you ever wondered about the Variables tab and how they work? Well, first of all, let's think about what a variable is. A variable is something that can change. So for example, if we think about the wind outside, the wind can be very strong and ferocious, or it can be very light and tranquil. The waves in the ocean can be massive, or they can be really teeny tiny and lapping up on the shore at the beach. Or we can think about somebody's walking speed. A person can walk really quickly, or sometimes they might walk slow like a turtle or a snail. These are all examples of variables, things that can change. Today, we're going to look at the variable gravity, which is going to pull Scratch down to the ground. So first of all, we're going to make sure that we're on the Variables tab, and then come up to this button that says Make a Variable. We're going to make sure that it's ticked for all sprites, and then we're going to call it Gravity, and press OK. Now in our scene, you can see that gravity has been set to 0. So let's very quickly just set up a backdrop with some ground so that Scratch can have some ground to walk on. So let's come down to the picture frame and click, and then we're going to select blue sky. Now Scratch has some dirt to walk on. Fantastic! The first thing we're going to do is come over to the events blocks and grab a flag. So when the flag is clicked, we're going to go to the motion blocks, and we're going to grab change Y by 10. But we're not going to worry about this number for now. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're actually going to come back to the Variables tab, and we're going to change Y by gravity. And at the moment, gravity equals 0. So nothing is going to happen to Scratch if we were to press the flag. So let's do that. Nothing happens. We're changing Y by gravity, but gravity is 0, so nothing is going to happen to Scratch the cat. So we'll worry about the rest of that in a moment. Now, let's go to the control blocks, and we're going to wrap a forever loop around here. Let go. Great. The next thing we're going to do is get an if, then, and else block, and we're going to place it underneath change Y by gravity. It will be in the forever loop, just like that. Now we're going to go to sensing, and we're going to get touching color something. And at the moment, this color is purple, but we need this color to be the exact shade of brown that's on the ground over here. And to do that, we're going to click in this purple color, and then come down to the picture frame with the eyedropper, and move your mouse over to the scene, and you'll get this weird circle thingy. And if you move the center of it down towards the brown, and then click, you'll get the exact shade of brown over here in your touching color block. It's really important that you don't try and make the brown color yourself, because it has to be the exact shade of brown that's here. If you don't do that, this won't work at all. So make sure you follow that step. Now, if we're touching the color brown, we're going to come to the Variables tab again, and we're going to set gravity to 0. When Scratch is touching the floor, we don't want Scratch to keep drifting down through the floor. We want Scratch to stop when touching the floor. So to do that, we have to set gravity to 0. If he's not touching the floor, what we're going to do is we're going to set gravity to -10. And now if we look at this, the code is starting to make sense. So we're going to forever change Y by gravity. And if Scratch is touching the brown dirt for the ground, we're going to set gravity to 0. Otherwise, we're going to set gravity to -10. So if I press the flag now and lift Scratch the cat up off the ground and then let go, look at that. It falls to the ground just as though you'd picked something up and dropped it in the real world. And you'll notice that when we drop Scratch, the number up here changes. So we've made a variable. This is something that changes. When Scratch is touching the ground, gravity equals 0, and when Scratch is drifting down through the sky, gravity is set to -10. And that's how variables work. Well done.